This is the Big Fish Cares podcast. Big Fish Cares podcast. And here's your host, Benny Fisher.
All right, well, this is a really special episode. I mean, all the episodes are special, but this one's really cool because this guy doesn't get much screen time because he's always behind the camera. Welcome to the show, Cody. I almost said Cody Dulski. It's Cody Dulski.
Hey guys.
Cody Dulski.
Cody Dulski here, Ben. Looking forward to any questions you bring up to me. Looking forward to our conversation, and thanks for having me on here. I'm really looking forward to what this comes from.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride. I think I met Cody about 3 years ago through our buddy Chris Callen, who was on episode 1, the creative mastermind behind it all.
Yes, shout out Chris, creative director.
There you go. And yeah, Cody, most of the time I've ever worked with him, he's always been behind a video camera, and I know he loves to edit some stuff, and he's got a lot of cool hobbies that I've gotten to know over the years just working with him. And when you work side by side with a video guy, it's kind of almost like having it's like having a spouse with you. It's kind of like that kind of relationship, because you're going everywhere together, you're doing stuff, they hear everything you say. You kind of bond, right? And I know we went to VeeCon, it's been a couple weeks ago, almost about a month ago, and by the time this thing comes out, and that was really cool. And I got to know you even better, and I knew that you're a lot different than I am, and that's what I love about you, because this guy's vegan. Every time we go to eat, he's like, he doesn't make a big deal about it. He's not one of those snotty vegans. We all know who those snotty vegans are, right?
Yeah, I try to tell everyone I'm more of a secret vegan, man. Like, I'm 99% plant-based. I never get upset or mad if something might be cross-contaminated with like milk, dairy, whatever it may be. I'm always just more or less looking and really just thinking about my health from a positive perspective, and that just goes back to with everything you put into your body is just how I see how we eat food, basically. But what I always try to tell people is that I'm not a hardcore vegan, but I live a 99% plant-based diet.
That's pretty impressive. And I tell you what, some of the places that we were on the road eating, we actually went to a couple of vegan restaurants. It actually wasn't that bad. So, and Brittany's really been working with me a little bit on being more open-minded to the plant-based life. And, not that I have to do it all the time, but it is nice to know that, food can be fun, with some of the new stuff that chefs are making. I mean, because it's wild.
Yeah, food can still be good, and you can still enjoy the same meals that you used to on a plant-based vegan diet. And that's what I always try to tell a lot of people, is that a lot of people will come up to me and say, Cody, don't you miss eating hamburgers? Don't you miss eating lasagna? Don't you miss eating meatloaf?
Oh, there's nothing better than vegan lasagna. Let me just tell you that.
And I'm going to tell you guys, anything that we used to eat or that we currently eat, if you want to be vegan or plant-based, using Google is a tool that, everyone should be utilizing right now. So what I just tell people is that I still eat hamburgers. I still eat lasagna. I still eat all the meals that I grew up and loved eating, but now I just find a recipe that is 99% or not 99%, just a plant-based or vegan recipe that I can follow and make at home. And even when you walk, I do a lot of my grocery shopping at Whole Foods. When you walk up and down the frozen departments now, half the frozen department is dominated with plant-based and vegan meals. So there's a lot of resources that we can use to make plant-based meals, and then a lot of things they have prepared at the store that you can just grab and go and that are ready for you. And I just think today is a time we're living where a lot of this plant-based menu and diet and food is everywhere. So it's no longer, hard to find or get. Even when we go out to restaurants around Pittsburgh, almost every restaurant has a vegan option.
Yeah, they got the gluten-free. It started with gluten-free. Yep. That was the thing, right? Now it's vegan, and so you see like the GF, you see the V on the menu.
Yep, vegetarian.
And then they started, So what made you go down that vegan plant-based route? Where does that stem from?
Well, it kind of just goes back to like my childhood. When I was like in high school, I really started, diving deep into, what we eat, energy, my best friend and I, one of my best friends growing up, Anthony, he was someone that was super passionate about health, trying to figure out, it's called like biohacking. How can we put foods in our body? How can we do activities on a daily basis that are going to make us perform at the highest peak levels? And one thing we found was, eating healthy and putting plants, fruits, and vegetables into your body. What I mentioned about energy and frequencies, we just have a very strong belief that everything in this world is connected by energy and frequency. And the foods that I put into my body, I want to make sure that all the foods I put into my body are vibrating at a very high energy level. And when you eat fruits, plants, vegetables, all of those food items are still vibrating with a high amount of energy. So when I kind of heard some of that about energy and space and whatnot, it really kind of just really related with me. And then on top of that, just growing up within just watching how my mom ate, how my dad ate, how my family ate, what I grew up eating, and what my uncles and aunts, seeing how their health has progressed in their 40s and 50s. And I just looked around and seen, a lot of the people in my family, not to knock them or anything, I love every single person, but it just didn't seem like their health was at the top of, at the peak of their game. And what I noticed was that if I ate the same diet that I know all my dad, my mom, my family, everyone eats the same diet. If I ate that same diet, I just seen me progressing to the same point where they're at, where they're having certain health conditions. They're telling me, oh, Cody, you're gonna feel bad. Your body's gonna hurt when you're 40 and 50, just like us. You're gonna have arthritis just like us. So it really pushed me into to research and really look into the food that we put into our body. So it's just something that's really sprung with me, and I believe everything is connected by energy. And another perspective I heard was that from a doctor on a YouTube video I watched, I forget who mentioned it. It was on one of the documentaries, Cowspiracy, What the Health. Both of them can be found on Netflix if anyone wants to look more into it. But a doctor perspective said that if we consume and eat meat, and none of this is just my perspective. I'm not a health doctor. I'm not a doctor.
This isn't FDA insured.
Yeah, this isn't this FDA
This isn't. We're not even. Well, Dr. Oz isn't even really. I think he's a fake doctor.
But what this doctor said was that if we put meat into our body, that when we eat meat all the time, our body actually has a hard time differentiating the meat we put into our body from our own organs. So she said after so long, our cells in our body from eating so much animal product our cells are tricked into attacking our own good healthy cells because they can't differentiate the meat substance from our own type of organs and meat. And just like what she said, it just causes a lot of autoimmune deficiency. And she said that's why a lot of people have autoimmune deficiencies, because their cells are attacking their own cells because their body is so used to eating meat. And like I said, I don't know if any of that is 100% true or not, but that was just something else that stuck with me. And I said, wow, that kind of makes sense in my head. So I've just always been very passionate about health and just very passionate about the field that is known as biohacking and how we can perform at our top level.
Is there any downside? Is there any side effects or negative downsides that someone that could come across from like the old school where it says, oh, we eat meat, we ate, fats, we eat eggs, we eat all this stuff from animals. Is there any downside from eating an only plant-based diet?
I think there are a lot of downsides from only eating a plant-based diet, and that's why I totally agree with people that they should seek out, doctor advice, go get blood tests, go get mineral tests, figure out what your body is naturally deficient in. But some people think, you can just switch from eating only, meat or eating a normal diet to only eating lettuce and tomato sandwiches. You can't live on lettuce, tomato sandwiches. You want to make sure you're still getting all the vitamins and minerals that your body should be getting. And one of the things that I try to make sure that I do and consume every day is make sure that I'm getting all my vitamins, make sure I'm getting all my minerals, and then make sure I'm getting all of my protein. Because when you switch from, a normal diet to a plant-based vegan diet, how can we substitute the amount of protein that you were getting in your past diet and finding the right plant-based foods to make sure you're still getting the amount of protein that you need to get within your diet?
Well, where do you get proteins at in a plant-based diet?
One thing I do twice a day is I drink a superfood protein shake filled with superfood. So my protein shake. So a superfood so certain foods are classified as super if there's certain health benefits behind that food that classifies it as a superfood.
So I always thought like a 32-ounce tomahawk, like at Hyde Park or Ruth Chris, that was a superfood,
Yeah, so a superfood is just something that is known to have a lot of health benefits behind it. Like one of the ways I'm able to consume a lot of protein is just by eating a lot of like nuts. Like I eat a lot of like almonds, cashews, quinoa. Quinoa is like a type of grain.
Oh, yeah.
Another superfood that I consume is hemp. Hemp is protein.
Is that like marijuana?
It comes from the marijuana family.
The hemp plant?
Yeah, the hemp plant, but it's also...
Does it give you a buzz when you eat it?
Oh, no.
So it's not like...
No, yeah, there's no
it's not like the Snoop Dogg when you get high type of hemp?
Yeah, I don't think there's any very small trace amounts of THC and maybe some trace amounts of CBD, but hemp is something that is used in the industrial world to make clothing. Hemp clothing is very popular, and then using it as a protein supplement.
Wow, so interesting that the videographer, the guy the creator, is into the vegan stuff, and I wouldn't have really realized that without hanging out with him as much. And it is fun to learn, especially with Cody, because he's just so like, he doesn't make it seem like that crazy or like that wild. He explains things. He's not like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. He doesn't judge you. Like I've eaten like cheeseburgers in front of him. He don't even you wouldn't even know it. I've been with other people though that's like grossed out. When they go to a restaurant, they like make a big deal. They ask the waiter 15,000 questions. It's like really awkward. It's awkward for the other 8 people at the table that are eating this regular food. And
yeah, I remember when we went out to dinner and you ordered like the 8, like Ben ordered like 6 or 7 things off the menu to have come out and served to us. And we mentioned that I was plant-based, vegetarian, vegan to the waiter, and then few minutes pass, the waiter comes running out, and they're like, "Oh my God, like, just wanted to mention this to you. Like, there's some butter sauce or something." They were like, "We can put that on the side," and I just seen I told the waiter, I was like, guys, it really doesn't matter. I'm not super hardcore, but it was just a funny interaction to have in front of Ben, because I'm not someone that is super hardcore. I'm not going to judge anyone. I'm not going to push my views on you, but if someone does ask me, I will push you in the right direction and maybe send you some documentaries, some books to read that will help you open your mind.
That's awesome.
I always try to tell people, keep an open mind. And another reason why I'm so passionate about health is just because I know it just makes sense to me if I'm operating at the peak of my level, my health, I'm going to be able to give that much more value to my clients.
Well, to
my family.
I mean, you were at VeeCon and you were running around. We were doing 12-hour days. And, it was a lot of work, but it didn't feel like work. It felt like fun. It was exciting to be around you. I'm excited to be around you even more because of those different types of viewpoints. Talk about your family a little bit. You mentioned your family, eats like this. I think most of us grew up with families like that. Most of our families still eat like that. I know that I still eat like that. What was their reaction when you decided to to do this alternative lifestyle? And, I know you're also into meditation and yoga and, a vegan diet. What was their reaction to that? Like, what was your mom and dad's reaction to that?
My mom and dad always supported me no matter what. Like, that was one of the things that my dad always pushed me to do, was to be myself, do whatever I want to do. He's not going to question it. He always supported the way I ate, the activities, the hobbies I did. I always told him I wanted to start my own business. He was always passionate about Bitcoin. Like, I told him about Bitcoin on what it would do. And he was never like, don't do that. He would just tell me, if you're talking about, go do it. But when I made the plant-based diet switch, it's always difficult for people to understand, but one of the hardest things to get through is just, they're always going to ask, they're always going to be tempted to, push their food onto you.
Yeah.
My mom is going to prepare a pork roast for 8 hours, and then she's going to look at you and say, oh my God, Cody, you're not going to eat my pork roast anymore? So they were always very supportive, but there was just a difficult period where they didn't know how committed I was to that, to the diet. And I think they, kind of put out some questions just to kind of challenge me, see how committed I was. But one of the hardest things to get through, again, is just telling your mom or dad you're not going to eat, their famous dishes that they always prepared for you. And then another thing that was hard to get through was just knowing that you're always going to be tempted and be put in a situation where I'm committed to a plant-based vegan diet, but if you're going to a family outing
and they don't have anything other options,
there's not going to be no vegan options there. I'm going to tell you.
So do you bring your own stuff just because now, or
I'll bring my own things, but like back in the day, I would just go and drink water. I'm going to eat fruit. I'm gonna eat a lettuce and tomato sandwich at Thanksgiving or at Christmas when I'm meeting up with my family. Over years of really perfecting and crafting your diet, over a year or two, you're no longer tempted. You're no longer even thinking about, oh my God, those stuffed shells look so good. Like I need one. That pizza looks so good. You slowly train yourself.
So I don't know, too, after COVID and then in the summer that I met Brittany, and Brittany really encouraged me to have a little bit more of a healthy lifestyle, which was awesome. I lost, I think 75 pounds, I'm starting to feel better. And I live in Pittsburgh. My mom lives in Canton, Ohio, and I know Mom's watching because she always watches the podcast. So it's like when I go over there, though, there's the candy dish that's out. You know what I mean? There's the brownies that she makes, the Rice Krispie treats that I've always been, the grilled cheese sandwiches that I always want. And again, not that I'm even trying to eat plant-based, but I'm just trying to eat like fruits and vegetables, eat a little bit more healthy. And it is a transition. It's really a tough transition to get them to kind of understand that, like, I just don't want to do that anymore, just because it's like, hey, I see what's happening to everybody else. And it's like, you just don't want that. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's shift gears and let's go into, you grew up you grew up in Pittsburgh, right?
Yep. Pittsburgh my entire life, South Hills.
Family, you have a sister?
Yeah, I have an older sister. She's 2 or 3 years older than me.
All right. And then, when you were in high school, like what kind of dreams did you have? Like, what did you want to do with your life?
So already in high school, I already knew I was different. Like I seen, first off, how I got into photography and video world. Like the first encounter I had was, I'll even go further back, was my dad bought me a computer when I was like 6 years old. No internet. Didn't have internet until I was like 13.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so I was stuck on a Dell desktop.
You're 27 years old, so like 13, that's only 14 years ago.
I didn't get my first cell phone until I was like 15. Like I was one of the last people in my grade to get internet or cell phone. But my dad got me a computer when I was really young. I was always super passionate about playing on the computer, jumping on the command prompt, seeing like what I could do without the internet. Because without the internet, you really can't do like a lot on a computer. So I always kind of knew I was tech savvy. I always loved electronics. I always loved computers. I always loved video games. When I was in middle school, I was always very competitive. When I started playing video games, incredibly competitive, I'd play Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and I started video recording myself playing these video games, and I would make Call of Duty montages, and I would put them on YouTube back in 2011, 2010, 2011,
wow.
Me and my friend Nick Fisher Kid, he would record himself doing Call of Duty commentaries, and I was always really good at sniping. I would make sniping montages. I would record the footage, send the footage to my friend Nick. He would edit some of the montages for me, and we would just put up videos on YouTube. And in my head, I was like, wow, like there's such a big opportunity in video gaming and creating content and putting it on YouTube. There are already big video game groups like Optic Gaming, Phase Gaming that were already producing very high quality content. And at that time in my life, I was like, I want to be just like them, you know? I want to make video games. I want to put out content. I want to make videos, put it on YouTube, try to get views, try to build a following. And in my head, on top of that, I always had a very entrepreneur mindset. So I said, wow, like in my head, this is all I'm envisioning through middle school and high school. And I was like, if we could get a following, we could potentially not only, you know, not everything is about making money, but I just seen the possibility if we had a following, we could potentially affiliate market services to them. We could affiliate market products to them. So I kind of just had a vision where I seen where this internet and where social media was kind of going early. I always say, a few of my best friends and I, we're always forward thinking. We're always trying to see what's next. And in middle school and high school, we seen Instagram, YouTube, content creation as the next big thing. So when I was always passionate about video editing, creating videos, it wasn't until my senior year of high school I bought my first photo camera, my first camera. And what motivated me to buy my camera was one of my best friends, Anthony, at the time. So Anthony was like a competitive male dancer. My sister was a super talented dancer. And on top of that, he would make music, rap music and hip hop music. So in my head, I was like, how can I help them, you know, get to their next level? And in my head, I was like, let's grab a camera. Let's start taking photos. Let's start doing video. Let's start pushing content for them. And then another inspiration that was like 50% of my inspiration. Then another bit of inspiration that I really haven't told this story was that it was like I graduated high school, got my first camera, and then I started following this kid's name is Dan Folger, and he was known as Wiz Khalifa's photographer. And he also had a gold chain business called the Gold Shop. And he could take incredibly good photos of jewelry. And I saw he was selling products online just by taking high quality photos of jewelry. Like, he's good enough at taking photos that it's selling in today's world. And that was another click where I was like, wow, like if we can build a following, if we can take high quality photos and create awesome video content around products, like there's this new world developing where, you know, we might be able to create a business solely online by taking high quality pictures and by pushing out video content around that. So all throughout, you know, when I graduated high school, that's when I really started learning how to do photos and video. And those are some of the things that really pushed me in that direction.
I mean, that goes to show you that you can dream it when you're a kid and you can actually go out and do it, you know, as an adult.
Yeah.
What were those other kids doing in school? Tell me about all the football players and all the cool kids in school. Like, what was that relationship between you and your buddies who were forward thinking tech guys? You know, how'd you get along with the other kids at school?
Luckily, I played roller hockey and ice hockey my entire life. So
you played ice hockey.
Mm-hmm, yeah, little
skinny Cody Dulski. If you guys are listening at home, you can't see how skinny this guy is. Obviously, he said he was vegan. What do you weigh? Like 125 pounds?
135.
135. How tall are you?
5'9".
Yeah, man, this guy is.
I'm a featherweight, baby.
He's lean and mean.
But what I always tell people about hockey, and I'm sure if anyone follows me on Instagram, I've been putting out roller skating videos. But size doesn't necessarily. I don't even want to say this matter, but in hockey, you just got to be very, you know,
faster then.
You got to be fast and you got to be very stable on your skates. And roller skating was something I was always incredible at. No one can knock me off my skates at roller skating. Ice hockey, there was a little bit of transition. I didn't have as many years practice in ice skating, but my best ability was just being sturdy on your skates, because as someone with a smaller stature, everyone is always going to be trying to hit you, so you got to be quicker and you got to be strong on your feet.
That's really impressive.
So it never held me back, but bringing back to hockey, I was always friends with all all the football players,
all the meatheads,
all the athletes. And then I always had a good connection. Also with, you know, the people that like to play video games, the kids that were
so you were
good
like,
at math.
You could blend with anybody. Because I mean, like the fact that
I could blend with anyone, but I more related to the kids that like video games, the kids that like math, you know, kids that excelled at school.
Well, your communication skills and the energy that you bring into a room and when being around you for like hours and hours at a time, like I've never seen you get like upset. I've never heard you make fun of anybody. I've never seen this, and this is wild. I've never seen anything negative come out of Cody Dulski's body, like ever. Words, looks, tone, language. Like I'm talking, I've spent hours and hours, and I mean, I've probably spent over 100 hours with this kid. Tell me how that's possible, because that's a rare trait.
I mean, it goes back to just like in high school, and that last question, how would you get along with people that, you know, saw you as forward thinking, was that like a lot of people thought I was trying to get famous, you know? Oh, dude, you're making videos, you're just trying to get famous. You know, that's lame. You know, why are you trying to do that? And like that, what they didn't even see the vision, you know? So I never try to let other people affect my, you know, my opinion, what they're going to say. I always listen, especially if there's someone I hold close to. But even like the people I hold closest to, I try to not let them affect my vision because I'm 100% committed to it. But another thing, I always listen to like motivational videos. Like I've gone through some hard things in my life. Like my dad passed away a few years ago. And I always listen to motivational videos. And this one guy's name is Inky Johnson. And he said one of his big things is work to separate. You know, work to separate. If you get 1% better every day, like that is the goal. And then to never compare yourself to anyone else, because no one else had that same upcoming, has gone through the same problems as you, has struggled through the same path as you. So basically, I just always try to, you know, stay motivated and keep a positive outlook and know that I'm committed every single day to improving myself. And there's a lot of things that I can't control around me. So I try to only focus on the things that I can control. And that's why when I show up and work, I'm going to try to perform at the highest level. I'm going to try to be incredibly kind. And like, I really just want people to, when they leave working with me, like if they just say like, wow, like that kid Cody, man, like he's special, you know, like that's what I want everyone to say when I leave that, you know, conversation or meeting or job that I have with them.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but you are special. It's really incredible. And it's funny that you mentioned Inky Johnson. And I don't know if I told you this, but my buddy Ryan Groth, who owns Sales Transformation Group and was the founder and visionary of that company, they, you know, help contractors scale their roofing companies, their siding companies, gutter companies, all kinds of different companies, but through sales, right? They have a training program and they have a conference, and they're having the Transform conference. I think it's like October 5th through the 8th or something like that. It's in Dallas, Texas, and Inky's going to be there. He's like the headline speaker. Okay. And I don't know much about Inky Johnson, but it was funny because like I never heard of Inky Johnson. All of a sudden Ryan Groth tells me, "You're never going to believe it. We got Inky Johnson." I'm like, man, I got to hear this guy. And then you tell me about Inky Johnson. I feel like the stars are aligning. I got to get you down to Dallas. You got to get to that conference.
I would love to see him in person. Yeah. And then Ben, I definitely recommend you tuning in and listening to what Inky has to say, because his story, it will really touch your heart.
That's awesome, man. That's exciting. I'm actually like, just can't wait to even like dig deep a little bit more on that. But let's shift gears again. Let's talk about like what you do kind of as your day job. You know, I know you helped me do some stuff at Big Fish Contracting. I know you're really big in the real estate industry here in Pittsburgh. Let's talk for a few minutes about that and what you're doing here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so anyone that doesn't know what I do, I run a content creation company named called Solventless Dreams. What my company will shift into over a 1, 3, and 10 year period will probably surprise a lot of people, because I have very big goals. But right now, what I'm focusing on is just photography and video work. So content creation. I specialize with working with real estate agents around the city of Pittsburgh, and specifically, I love to work with real estate teams. So some of the biggest teams around Pittsburgh, I love to infiltrate a team, find a good team that has similar values that I agree with. They're hustlers. So what I do is listing photos, video tours, and 3D tours, primarily within the real estate market here in Pittsburgh. And then
who's some of the favorite real estate agents or teams that you like to work with? Might as well give them a shout out on the Big Fish Cares podcast.
Hey man, I'll shout out two of them. I got a shout out, of course, the first real estate agent that got me into the real estate industry. His name's Nick Bova, also known as Mr. 412 of real estate. Got to shout him out. He has helped me tremendously in my career. He pushed me into the real estate industry. He saw 5 or 6 years ago, I was traveling out to California. I would take my drone out to California. We'd make really cool travel videos. And he reached out to me after he seen one of the videos and was like, dude, like, there's so much opportunity in real estate. Like, you gotta jump in. And at that time, I was still in college. So like in college, I was thinking, I'm only doing travel videos.
What'd you study in college?
I went to college first for computer science. After freshman year, I changed computer science to information systems, which is a degree that's 50% computer science and 50% business.
That's really cool.
And I thought, and at the time, I already knew I was going to leave college and start my own business. Like, my best friend Joey he's from New Jersey, met him at Slippery Rock. We would get together and hang out every day and talk about the businesses we were going to create, how we were going to sell products online. Are we going to sell on Amazon? We're taking courses, amazing selling machine. We're traveling out to Vancouver to go to self-development seminars. So college, I studied information systems, and that was one of the things I thought really related closely with entrepreneurship in today's time. I was thinking computers and business. That was something I loved to do and something that I thought would still benefit me in my life, because obviously, like, my dad kind of pressured me into going to college because he was someone that worked on cars his entire life.
Yeah.
And he knew that, like, he was like, dude, you need to go to school. Like, you can't end up doing what I did, you know? Yeah. He really not pressured me, but pushed me into that direction to, go to school. But even at that time, I knew I was going to start businesses.
So what's cool to hear about your story, Cody, and again, this is, two facets of your life, your work, right now, your career, your work, and your health, right? And two things that your parents maybe have not done well at, because not well at their work, but like, you didn't want to have that type of career. You don't want to just be underneath a car, fixing cars every day, same thing every day. Yeah, same thing every day, dealing with that same guy, right? That same bottle, right? Same thing over and over and over again. You wanted to do something. First of all, you wanted to take care of your health and make that number one. Number two, you wanted to be able to get into a career where you could kind of travel, you can kind of do different things, you can help other people get to their dreams, right? While achieving your dreams at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that's, just so everybody knows out there, you don't find that too often in a 27-year-old. I mean, that is like totally cool that you have your head on your shoulders, that you've had your head on your shoulders since it seems you were in high school. I mean, and that's a rare trait. And I think that's what probably attracts me to working with you even more and more and more, is that acumen of like always trying to help others, always trying to do it through business, and being healthy along the way. And so that's really inspiring. But who else in the real estate agent? I know Nick Bova, Mr. 412. Anybody else?
I'll go down kind of the way I entered the real estate market. Then Mr. 412, Nick Bova, introduced me to a guy named Kevin O'Loughlin from Movement Mortgage.
Ooh, Kevin O, baby. And Movement Mortgage.
Kevin O'Loughlin, at that same time when I met him, he was just starting out in the loan industry in the real estate Pittsburgh market. And my uncle was able to connect me with Kevin, and
I love Kevin. Kevin wrote the mortgage on my house. I mean, I'm locked in at 1.9% for 15 years. Thanks, Kevin O, baby.
That might be an all-time low in this one. You might never ever see below 2-3% again.
It's almost like free money. I can't even believe I got to make the payment.
You should have got another house at that time with that locked in rate.
I should have.
But shout out to Kevin. When I started working with him, I have another really cool story with Kevin. Like, after I met Kevin, and then 12 months went by, and like when I graduated college, like I took care of my dad a lot, and he got real sick, and then like he ended up passing away. When he passed away, he left me like a little bit of money, and that money I used to buy like all my new video equipment, I invested that money in my business, and then
future,
and then in Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin. Oh,
and Bitcoin was like at 4,000 or 5,000 back in those days.
We're at 36 minutes into the podcast, 34 minutes into the podcast, and we just finally dropped the Bitcoin nugget. I'm not sure we're gonna have
This
time
is a whole other episode.
Yeah, we're not gonna have time to cover the Bitcoin and the crypto and the NFT world today, but I think it's an important story. We're definitely going to have you back on for that.
I can't wait to talk about that. But yeah.
Kevin O, though, he's got, I don't find too many people that have the same aspirations for content creation while they're also really good at what they do. Like me, you know, I feel like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago in Pittsburgh, like there was nobody creating content. There was nobody going on Facebook. There was nobody doing any of the things that we're doing at Big Fish Contracting. And then I met Kevin O probably a few years ago. And I was like, wow, look, this guy's making mortgages look fun. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how Kevin was when I met him. He was someone that was super motivated about creating video content. And then on top of that, he offers extremely high quality, you know, service. He's a master at the loan field.
And he's got an amazing culture at his place. Like it's a bunch of just upbeat personalities, a great team. They're
Kevin
winners.
is someone that's, you know, every few months he's giving his co-employees a new book to read, and they're gonna meet up once a week and go over that chapter that they read together. But I send Kevin an email and I'm like, hey Kevin, I know we met up 12 months ago, but like I see you're still making video content. I was like, I just got all this new equipment. I was like, I can tell you no longer have the time to make the video content. I was like, let me make all your video content. I'll come in once a week, or not once a week. We come in like once a week, film for 1 month. I'll come in, I'll shoot the video, I'll edit it all. I'll let you focus on growing your business. So I sent him a really good message, told him everything that happened in my life. And he was like, yeah, dude, come on in next week. So I met up with Kevin. I started filming content with Kevin, and Kevin had a company that really exponentially grew. So by working with Kevin and making content with Kevin, a lot of people started reaching out to me. A lot of people started reaching out saying, hey, Kevin, who makes your videos every week? So I was able to really, hop into his affiliate market system. So those are really the two people I really want to shout out in the real estate industry.
Yeah,
Nick Bova, one of the biggest teams in Pittsburgh is the Matt Durbin team. And they're another team that, like I said, the way they handle and work with their clients, how they treat their clients, how they treat their team. They're just another team that I want to be a part of. And that's what I always try to hone in and find is people and teams that I can relate with and hold the same values. And that's why I always enjoy working with Big Fish and, you know, Ben and, you know, everything that we do here at Big Fish Roofing as well.
Let's talk a little bit about that. You know, I know that you shot some videos for when me and Chris Callan were doing some content, and then we were doing some other stuff. And tell everybody at home about the story about when I called you that one day and I said, I got this idea, Cody. I think we need to start doing drone roof inspections.
Yeah, when Ben reached out to me, I kind of just scratched my head. I was like, oh God. I was like, wait, we want to do drone. I'm already like in the weeds doing a lot of stuff. But at the same time, I seen the opportunity within the roofing market. Like I seen the opportunity within video creation within the roofing industry. And then the opportunity that a roofing company, what they could offer or what they could provide using drone technology. And I totally agreed when Ben reached out to me. He said, dude, let's start doing drone roof inspections. Let's start inspecting roofs of houses with the drone. No one else is doing that in the entire Pittsburgh market. And when Ben reached out to me, I was like, dude, like it's not as easy as it sounds.
I'm like, you can't just go buy a drone and start doing it, and then like, you know.
Yeah, commercially. So anyone can go out and buy a drone and fly it around recreationally, but as soon as you get into the commercial side of business, commercial side of things, I told Ben, I was like, Ben, since these people are working for you, they're providing a service, we need to get them FAA certified. We need to get their remote pilot certification for them to be able to fly these drones legally.
What's entailed in that? Because that was no easy process. I make every single project advisor that's flying drones go through that process. And every single person tells me after the 90 days or after that, you know, they take it, usually they get that done within the first 30 days of employment here, but they say it's the worst part of the job is getting that FAA Part 107 license. Tell us about that.
Yeah. And I have my friends and family ask me about it. And I what I tell people is that this remote pilot test is an entry level test that pilots take. You know, you're going to go through the same course, same study material that some FAA certified commercial pilots, you know, are doing the same research. So the studying is very intensive. It's not something some of my friends say, oh, do you think I could just go to the airport and take the test? I'm like, dude, I was like, you don't even understand airspaces. I was like, you need to understand Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D. You need to understand how weather affects, you know, how elevation affects. So the drone course is definitely intensive, but it teaches you a lot what you need to know when flying in the air. But it is definitely intensive because it is an entry-level exam for FAA pilots.
Well, and I wish all of our customers,
no joke.
Yeah, and I wish all of the consumers at home understood the process that it takes, because there's a lot of other roofing companies out there that are flying drones right now that never took the license, never got certified, don't even know, basically took the thing out of the box. They start playing with it. They're trying to look like us, talk like us, copy us. And it's a dangerous situation because they're cutting corners on doing things the right way. And I always tell customers, listen, if they're willing to do that, what else are they willing to do? Where else are they cutting corners? Because that test, I mean, I'm telling you what, I mean, that is no small task.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's 60
20
questions.
Well, it's not even the questions. It's 20, 30 hours of coursework.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For most people, they're out of school and out of high school. You know what I mean? Like the last time they took a test like that was 20 years ago. So, you know, I'm really proud of the team here at Big Fish. They're all really proud to flash their FAA badges.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of you, Ben, for understanding that you need to make sure those fundamentals are on the right block, you know, are fundamentally set up correctly by making sure they're all FAA certified.
And talk to us about basically me and you beta tested this, right? Like I had you out there, I had you doing roof inspections, I had you uploading them to Company Cam. Talk about Company Cam and how it takes that drone picture, puts it into the app, and then that app we're able to annotate, mark up, show the customers where their damages are. Tell us about your experience with using that.
Yeah, Company Cam, I was really impressed with Company Cam. I really liked it. I really like the aspect where it's connecting, you know, the company providing a service to, I would assume, houses. I don't know what everything they serve, but for your
anybody that wants to take pictures, basically it's for any contractor, anybody that needs to take pictures. It could be property managers that want to take pictures. Anybody that wants to keep a log of photos by address, by date, that can mark stuff up, that wants to share the files instead of having to upload to Dropbox, then send a link, you know, or a Google Drive, and have to slide through the pictures where it just, boom, it's like live in a real time. It's almost like a Facebook feed of photos.
Yeah, and what I enjoy most about it is that it really connects, you know, the homeowner with what's going on within the project. And on top of that, just how Ben and I utilized it for the drone department was we're going to upload, you know, 20 to 30 drone photos, and then we're going to upload them to Company Cam. Company Cam has a built-in user interface that allows us to label the photos, color coordinate the labels, add text to the photos, do before and after photos of you know, the projects and whatnot. So it was a very good way and seamless way to organize all the footage, label all the footage, all the files, and then share it with the homeowner as well. It's a simple share link with the homeowner, and then they're actually able to see the photos as soon as they, you know, get uploaded and dropped into their folder.
Yeah, the other thing I like about it too is from the operational side of running a company. You know, I can log in and literally look at any job that's going on one of my job sites because our project managers are on site. They're uploading photos as they're happening. As they take the pictures, it's going to the customer file. So we have the before pictures, you know, when the project advisor's out, then the during pictures when the roof's getting ripped off, putting back on by the project managers, then the after pictures, you know, whoever takes one of those. But our whole team inside the office and our project managers can see it, the project advisors can see it, the customer service girls can see it, the customer can see it. Our crews have access to those pictures. If I ever have a question and need to send it to a vendor or a manufacturer's rep, boom, I can just send the link. Super easy to do that. I really appreciate you for helping us with that program. And then not only the ongoing training, you know, we bring you in from time to time to go back. I mean, it's been about 2 years since we've done that program. And, you know, now everybody's pretty much versed up. They can kind of train themselves and they can train the next generation. So me and Cody don't always have to do it. But Cody, you are so awesome with your time and being able to teach people how to do things and explain. And, you know, speaking of that, you know, we have an intern that's starting this summer for us that's, you know, in high school still. that's going to be working with you a little bit, training on how to shoot video, shoot photography, so that way they can follow us around this summer and get some experience under their belts, so that way they can be like you, when if they choose that's the route for them. But we're giving those the opportunity. How do you feel about that?
One thing I'm very passionate about is, helping others and educating others that are passionate about, what they want to do. If I can help someone, I'm going to go, I'll stay an hour after, I'll put the extra time in to help someone that wants to learn. And that's why I'm really passionate about, I don't make too many instructional videos yet, but that's something I'm very passionate about is providing quality and providing, a way for people to learn through video content, because I know when I love to teach. So I just know by teaching on video content that I want to really reach a lot of people. And I think video content really helps you teach at a mass exponential level.
I think we should make a content course. We can make a content course for guys like me that want to shoot content, that want to be able to have a production company, right? That want to be able to produce content, right? But with that comes photography, videography, video editing, lighting, sound, right? All those things. And we could put together the best experts, in the field to kind of shoot videos and content, and we can make a course.
Yeah, that would be something I'd
love. And then we can make it. You have to buy an NFT to get in the course.
Yep.
Oh, I said we weren't going to talk about NFTs, but I lied. I'm just kidding. We are going to save that for another show, though. So let's talk more about how important it is to document what you're doing, whether you're a photographer, a videographer, a roofer, a mortgage person, a real estate person, right? Why in business is it so important to document what you're doing and get that out there to the consumer?
I think just going back, like document versus create. A lot of people get sucked into thinking like every video or piece of photo or content that they release has to be perfect, that it has to be scripted, that everything from the way it looks to the way people look, but from the way things inside a business, everything needs to be perfect in. When you shift that mentality from scripted to document, it makes video and content creation so much more easy. And another reason too is we're doing so much on our day-to-day activities. Whether you're in the roofing industry, whether you're in the photography industry, whether you're in the real estate industry, where we no longer have to think and create. We can just document what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And what I've realized is that when you drop videos that, things are more of a documentary, you're keeping it real, people can relate more to that type of video content. People want to see, the raw side of you, how you act on your day-to-day activities. What are some of the things you're doing in between, a roof installation, or what some of the things you do in between, a real estate listing. I just have found that people really care about that side of, your personality and your business. So that's another thing, how, you can just shift your perspective of documenting versus creating. And again, we do so much on a day-to-day basis that if we could just record and, document just 10 to 25% of that, we're going to have a lot of content to drop for, the entire year.
Speaking of that, I'm on Facebook Live right now, documenting. It's kind of like, I feel like we're in the metaverse now, because it's like we're shooting a podcast that's actually going to be edited and recorded and watched and listened to later. But right now they're actually getting the live on the Facebook Live, right? So this is exactly what we're talking about, people.
Yeah, we're multi-dimensional right now.
Is that what it is? Multi-dimensional?
Multiverse. Or is that what is that the buzzword they're using right now? I forget what it is.
I'm not sure. But we got a little bit of time left. Let's talk about our experiences of just following me around, the journey of being an entrepreneur, me then taking the camera sometimes like I am right now, and then following you around, right? And I feel like that's why we have Tyler here this summer, because we're going to be able to get a lot of different angles on what it's like to build a business, build a personal brand, build relationships, networking, create things for the future that people that we're going to be able to leave behind for the next generation. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I always try to tell people video content is like an asset that's going to be available online for the rest of human existence. And one, I just think that's cool as a memory. A lot of the times when people pass away, we don't have a lot of content to remember them with. And now in today's time, I see 3, 4, 5-year-olds getting on camera, recording themselves. And I just think it's such a cool perspective to look back on in 30 to 40 years, seeing the development of your life through video content. And another thing about like Ben bringing on, like Ben pushing me into, you know, helping train, set up departments, is that Ben's always pushing me to get out of my comfort zone too. And like when you train people, you know, you're going to perform and be able to learn your craft that much better. If you're able, there's this saying where it's like, if you're not able to like explain something in a few words, then you probably don't, you know, understand the topic that well. And when you teach someone, you really have a good reflection of how well you understand your field. And by teaching and educating others, it really helps you upgrade and
learn and grow.
Learn and grow.
I will tell you, anytime that they've asked me to like get up in front of a room or talk to our team members about, you know, any process or any type of thing I'm trying to get done here at Big Fish, I put in so much time and energy into researching even more than I already know, right? I'm not just taking the stuff out of my brain. I'm trying to add a little bit more value, right? And when you go through that process of preparing, right, the preparation, that's where I feel like the most growth is. You were telling me, and again, I don't know if we can share this, we won't name names, but you were telling me that you would go to real estate shoots and you do walkthroughs with real estate agents who were asking you, and they were telling you like what to, you had to prompt them on what to say.
Yeah, the joke my friend and I always make is that like agents want like the entire package, but like only want to pay for like the video content. So like when you're going to the shoot and you have to on top of you have to direct, you know, you have to come up with what people are saying. You have to lead. You have to figure out, okay, where's the intro shot going to look nicest at? Where's the outro shot going to look nicest at? The agent is walking through the house and asking you, oh, what should we record in here? What do you what should I say? So always working with real estate agents is always like an interesting, you know, battle within itself. But it's helped me learn and really master my. And another thing too is that there's so much that comes along with video creation, and that side is more of a creative director. A creative director is going to work with the talent. You know, they're going to help lead the
like Chris
talent.
Callen's like one of the best, right?
When I work with Chris Callen and I see how he interacts with, you know, the people we're filming, like it's incredible. He's always calm and collective and always knows what to say and how that person should present themselves on camera.
He's so good.
That's something I lack.
Oh, he's so good. He's made me so much better at just helping me get my ideas on the video, and then like, you know, letting me know like where the shot should be, how it should be, you know. And again, I have my own ideas, right? Because I'm creative, but at the end of the day, he just adds that extra dimension, right? Mm-hmm. Talk to me about what it was like to follow me around at VeeCon and all the experiences, because we only have about 10 minutes left. So let's wrap it up with like what it's like to be the D-Rock, right? Gary V, right? You followed Gary V back in the YouTube
Gary
days.
V, yep.
We went to VeeCon. Cody was my D-Rock. I was trying to pretend like I was Gary, right? We were just basically emulating what we've already learned that works, right?
Yeah, we were documenting.
We were documenting.
Exactly.
So all my interactions with people, I knew a lot of people already from being into the NFT space and meeting people through, you know, online. And when we went to Minnesota, tell us about that experience. Let's wrap the show up with that.
I mean, from a perspective of a videographer and a photographer, I would say that's some sort of like a dream job, to be able to travel the United States and to be able to, you know, pop in and out of different cities for 4 or 5 days, go 110% during those days. Like that from itself, from that perspective, is a dream job. And then on top of that, to be able to go to VeeCon, see Gary V, meet Gary V, and go to a conference.
How cool is that? We don't want to skip over that. So tell us about that whole story about how we got backstage with Gary V and met him, and he gave you a fist bump.
Yeah, well, first, like I've been watching Gary V since like I was in high school. So like he was one of my top, you know, mentors and role models for sure. And it was crazy. I had a really good feeling we were going to run into and meet Gary V, just because I know how well connected you are with Gary V. He recognizes you like just from your face-to-face video calls with him.
Yeah, and that Thursday, or that was it Wednesday or Thursday? No, it was Thursday. At the women's event. Yep. Remember we had him mic'd up?
Yeah,
you remember funny. You told me to buy these 2 wireless mics, right? And I was like, why don't we need wireless mics? I'm like, all right, I'll buy whatever, Cody. You buy me wireless mics. I had one in the bag. You were shooting the stage where the women at. Gary V walks in stage right.
Yes, secretly.
Secretly. No one knew he was there. I see him pop in. I'm like, Cody, I need the mic. I went right over to Gary. I literally put the thing on him. I was
shocked that like a bodyguard didn't come and like be like, what did he just put on Gary's chest?
Yeah, no, I know. But at the end of the day, like, he was cool. He took it.
So incredibly cool.
And then we have a lot of footage of that whole event. We have so much footage. It's never even been seen before because we haven't even been through the content yet. But let's talk about the day 2 of VeeCon, that Saturday. How do we get backstage? Tell me about that process for you as feeling what we were doing, like just being just there, just documenting, and just basically wherever I went, you went. And what was the ride like?
I mean, it's always cool to, document and ride along with Ben. Ben is someone that, really carries a lot of energy. When you go into a room, people want to listen and hear what you got to say. You always bring like a persona, or not a persona, but just like an energy to the room where people are attracted to you. Even like when we were at the card table when they were auctioning the cards.
Oh, the baseball cards.
Yeah, the baseball cards. That's another story, but But yeah, so just working and being around someone that is, I would say Ben is always vibrating and operating at an energy level 3x of mine. So just being able to be around him and, try to keep up with him was, motivating. And then on top of that, Ben is, very well connected within the VeeFriends community. We had a lot of really good interactions with some of the people you communicated with and, that you were close with online. We got to meet a lot of people in person. They automatically came up to me, and because I'm friends with you, they're best friends with me already.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool perspective. And then, so it's like day 2 of the event, day 2 or day 3 of the event. And, we work with a really cool, another creative director, I think, Jonathan.
Yeah,
Can't leave Jonathan out.
Manager John.
Shout out Manager John. But, he actually connected us with, another panelist named Shara Lazar.
Yeah, Shara, yeah. She's actually coming on my podcast. We're going to do a remote podcast, so she'll be on. But yeah, tell us about that story.
We end up meeting up with Shara Lazar. Ben and I wait for an hour or two. We're waiting to get backstage. We're telling the security guards, we got to connect. They're like, no, you don't. You got to wait. So Ben and I, we patiently wait. And Shara ends up hitting us up, says, hey, I have 2 backstage passes. Can you come and, film some content around us? So
yeah, and she saw our content on Instagram.
Oh, we have already dropped some pretty cool content from VeeCon. We're making the content, pushing it out within, 12 hours time. Shout out Jonathan again.
Manager John for the win.
So she was definitely impressed with the content that we made already. But, and on top of that, I think, we had her values are similar to ours. We could tell she's motivated, educated, intelligent,
yeah, she wasn't
open-minded.
fake.
Yeah, she's a go-getter. So I automatically related with her, and I thought it was an incredible opportunity if we could go backstage on top of that. On top of, creating and providing content for Shara. And then on top of that, possibly being able to run into and meet people backstage, other panelists, other celebrities, other athletes, just to, rub shoulders and just, get to network and meet with
Logan
them.
Paul was back there, Chuck Liddell, Baron Davis, Ricky Williams, Jim Quick was back there.
Who's Alex with the camera again? What's his name?
Alex Stempluski. Oh, yeah, my
really
buddy from TikTok.
Alex,
oh, yeah, we did a bunch of, he's been releasing some of my videos that he shot for me on TikTok. One's got over 100,000 views already.
Nice.
I mean, the dude's blowing it up, man.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's legit. I really like what he does.
Yeah.
We got to meet him, and then, so just being able to be backstage at VeeCon was like an incredible experience. That moment exceeded my expectation. It was already exceeding my expectations just by meeting everyone, networking, getting to be with other like-minded individuals who are passionate about NFTs, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So that level really, exceeded my expectations, us being able to get backstage like that.
So We were in the Coinbase lounge. It's like a suite. Imagine like an NFL stadium. You know, they have those luxury suites, and inside that one of the luxury rooms, there was a bunch of awesome high end food. And Cody was like, grab all the fruits you can. Grab all the fruits you can.
Yeah, this time, Ben and I are running like 8 hours, 6-8 hours.
Only
no
on coffee.
drink.
Only on coffee.
No food. I'm like, Ben, just get me that. The plates are only like 5 inches big. I was like, put as much fruit on that plate and give it to me.
I think I might have grabbed you a whole thing of grapes and just stuck it on there. We looked like freaking, like we were like homeless guys, like trying to eat.
And then literally immediately right after that, Ben and I hang out for 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, we're all done. We were done for the day. We were actually tired, ready to go back to the hotel, take a nap, grab some dinner.
Yeah, we were grinding down.
And who would you know that was sneaking through the back hall that I caught my eye?
Yeah, as soon as we leave that Coinbase lounge, we end up leaving the door and running into Gary V and his team with D-Rock and his entire team.
Yeah, his girlfriend was there.
Oh, yep.
So that was cool. What was that like for you?
It was a very special moment. Not too many people, for one, get to meet Gary V, so I thought that was special, but it's just always cool to get to meet someone that, has helped you become, a better person within your, self-development, within your own business. And like I said, Gary V is someone that I've looked up to over, a 5-6 year period. But it was an incredible experience for me. But I'm always somewhat, it's like humbling, like I'm always someone that isn't starstruck when I see a celebrity.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn into a huge fan. I wish I would have got like a photo with people.
Yeah.
Like that's another story too. I totally forgot about that. Or like even a photo with Gary V.
We'll do a whole nother episode on just the whole VeeCon experience, and you'll be able to cut in some clips so that way everybody at home can see. But
yeah, when you get to meet one of your role models, growing up, it's just a very unique and humbling experience, and something will be forever grateful for.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you being here today, and I'm going to end the Facebook Live because I don't want them to get too much information. That way they have to listen to the podcast. But this has been great. You know what I always ask people 5 questions. I don't know if you've listened to the show at all, but 5 questions. So imagine that you're on an island, okay? Have you ever seen the movie Castaway? Mm-hmm. All right, Castaway. So let's imagine that you have to go to an island and you're stuck there, okay? You're just there by yourself. What one book are you taking with you to keep on that island?
The book that really was like really moving for me was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So I'd probably just have to bring that book with me just to, make sure that I'm keeping my mindset positive and trying to manifest some way for me to get off that island. So I would probably bring some sort of self-development book that really touched me.
All right.
But or let me switch it up for this answer too. If you're trying to be proactive, you might want to bring some sort of survival book. Survival 101 or something. That would probably be a book you really want to bring.
Like a Bear Grylls book.
Yeah, or Survival for Dummies.
All right. So let's go with the other question. I don't even have my notes here, but let me just think if I can remember. What you can take one movie with you. What movie are you going to take with you?
It's funny, Tyler and we were just talking about movies on Wednesday when we were together. Obviously, video people love watching movies. Like, I love seeing a good picture, a good production, a good, story. I really loved Inception. Like, I really thought that was like a multi-dimensional movie that made you, really critically think deeper.
Oh, yeah.
And I love movies that make you, like, just question reality.
Yeah, there was a movie that did that. I can't remember the name of it now.
And another really good movie I've enjoyed over the past year or two that's like on the twisted side is called Midsummer. And Midsummer is like a very twisted movie, but an incredible production and, a story behind it.
So we did book, we did movie. All right, so if you're allowed to take one trip, you got one trip off this island. Go anywhere you want for a vacation for 1 week. Where are you going?
The first thing that pops into my head is that I want to go back and visit my family.
So you want to come back to Pittsburgh?
If I can only leave the island one
All
time.
right, how about that? That doesn't count. Let's just say you're going on vacation.
I'm a very critical thinker.
Yeah, I know. You don't have a family, all right? Your family, you don't have a family. You just want to go on vacation.
Okay.
Where are you going on vacation?
See, my best friend and I, we always do these questions like
well,
this.
see, this is what makes a great podcast.
But I really want to travel to like those Maldive islands. Like I always hear like the most incredible things about like, and I've seen like the video and like those little islands.
So if me and Brittany go to the Maldives, I could bring you to capture some of the moments so that way you can have some time to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's like literally a dream, destination of mine. I love tropical paradises.
All right, that's cool. All right, so you're allowed to get one restaurant. They'll come and build for you on your island. What's your favorite restaurant?
Right now, man, anyone that knows me, they know where they're going to find me out on a weekly basis, and that's Coupe de Ville. And Coupe de Ville isn't even 100% plant-based. It's not vegan. They specialize in southwestern chicken. But what they do have there is an incredible falafel sandwich that I get once or twice a week. So I would have them solely prepare the falafel sandwich with a side of French fries.
They was just, you would basically just have like hey, I'll take the number one because that'd be the only meal they got. All right, here's the best question. You can spend.
Shout out Coupe de Ville too.
Yeah,
sponsor me.
Make sure we hashtag them on the podcast. We can do a reel. We can do like a little 30-second reel of that spot. All right, last question. This is always a tough one for everybody, but you're getting off the island for 12 hours, and you can go spend time with any person that you want. What one person do you want to go spend 12 hours with?
I would again just go back to my family.
One person.
Probably my mother. My mom. Like she's the closest person I have to me right now. Even though we don't, I would go back and see my mother, and then of course like my sister. They're both incredibly.
Only one person.
But yeah, my mom would come first for sure.
That's awesome, man. Cody Dulski. How do they find you, Cody? If the people want to follow you and all your cool roller skating videos and everything, how do they follow you?
Yeah, make sure everyone follows me. I go by Dulski, my last name, Dulski on Instagram. My company, Solventless Dreams. Solventless Dreams. On Instagram as well. That's where you're going to find real estate content, commercial video, photo content, and then my personal brand at Dulski is going to be more filled with photos I like to take, and then my roller skating videos, maybe some dieting tips, some food photos, and whatnot.
Yeah, and if you guys want to hire me and Cody for your next event, call Big Fish. I'm Cody's agent. Can't go through Cody without talking to me, because I want to make sure you guys take care of them. So thanks again, buddy. I really appreciate you being on the show. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was an incredible experience.
We're going to have you for having me. Well, we're going to have you back on because we got a couple of things. I think we can do an episode on crypto and Bitcoin and NFTs, and then we can do a whole nother episode on. I think we could do a whole nother episode on VeeCon.
No, yeah, definitely on VeeCon. We really need to tell that story about our experience in VeeCon and what people should expect, because that's just another That's another thing people are always asking me about, NFTs, Bitcoin. Yeah. They know I'm somewhat into
subscribe to my podcast, push the like button, make a comment. That stuff matters. I just realized that I don't say that on any of my podcasts. Like, yeah, man, like help me out, get the word out there. Follow me on,
share some love.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, bigfish.benny, Facebook Benny Fisher, LinkedIn Benjamin Fisher, TikTok Benny Fisher 81. I think they ran out of all kinds of names on TikTok. Everybody's trying to buy them up, but yeah, man, appreciate the love. Thanks a lot, Cody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Big Fish Cares podcast.